Shovel Knight is an indie game released in 2014 by Yacht Club Games. Recently, I remembered trying to speedrun the game to get an achievement. It was called Hurry Up, and was rewarded for completing the game in under an hour and 30 minutes, which I eventually did. It was a ton of fun, and if you haven't played this game, you're missing out. But that's why this video is here, to tell you a bit about the game using a race between me and my friend Kirill. I name myself Roma and get spawned into the world. In this game, you play as a blue knight with a shovel. The two attacks you have at the beginning are shovel swipes and pogo bounces, which you can use to bounce on enemies. Every main level is like its own little world, with its own theme and a boss fight at the end. Since we both haven't played in a while, we didn't really remember any speedrun tricks, so at this point we're basically on pace with each other. I'll put Kirill's name in the corner of the screen when I'm showing his POV. There's also an interesting dynamic where you can breeze through the stage quickly or stay a bit longer to collect gold, which is used to buy items and armor. Now we enter the first boss fight of the run, Black Knight. As you can see at the top, he has more health than us since we start off with 4 hearts and he gets 6. Even so, beating him isn't too hard since it is the tutorial fight. Oh nah, I just spat on the boss.
After that, we appear on the world map. Here we can travel between different levels and encounter our first important choice for this playthrough. After the village, we can either go fight King Knight or go fight Spectre Knight. Spectre Knight's stage has a phase locket, which is the most important item in this game. Like seriously, you cannot play without it. Me, being the smart man that I am, I obviously go for the phase locket while Roma takes on King Knight.
The theme of King Knight's stage is gold. There's quite a lot here and it can be used to buy armor, relics, and extra health, which means we enter the next stages at a health advantage. The most annoying part about the stage is those mice on propellers. Getting rid of them can be a challenge considering they go through walls and your attacks don't. The boss himself is actually the easiest in the whole game.
By the time Roma beat the boss, I wasn't even at Spectre Knight. This might seem like an advantage for him, but the reason I was so behind is because I spent time getting the phase locket. This item would now allow me to skip mini-bosses, skip tedious sections, basically not die to spikes. The only thing that could kill me was lava and fall damage. The phase locket basically just makes you invincible for a short period of time, and there is no cooldown for how long you can use it for or how many times you can use it. Basically the only limit is how much mana you have, and it costs 6 mana to use every time.
Entering Spectre Knight's level, I didn't know where this item was, but by exploring every nook and cranny of the level, I finally found Chester, the man inside the chest who sells relics. It only cost 1,000 gold. I don't mean to flex, but that kind of money is pocket change for me. The boss fight was more challenging than King Knight, and according to Kirill, one of the easiest in the game. Personally, I think he's maybe the 3rd hardest boss in the game, just behind the final one and Black Knight. Wait, Black Knight? I thought you said he was the really easy tutorial boss. Shh. Just watch until the end to see what I mean. After those two fairly simple bosses, we unlock the second area. Now we do have a diamond reserve and a truffle pond in the first area, but those aren't really necessary to beat the game, so we just skip through them. Both of us went to Treasure Knight's stage next, and while Kirill found it to be the easiest in the game, I had a bit of trouble. I didn't even bother going to the town and decided to visit Plague Knight's stage next. This next one is probably the hardest one so far. It has a bunch of these geysers that shoot out fire, pots with lids that fly off, many are large Plague Knights. Anyway, Plague Knight himself, not much of a challenge, beat him first try. He basically just bounces around the stage the whole time and spawns pots, as well as throwing potions. No! Yes! Oh, half a heart again, bro. I literally, every time I kill a boss, I'm on either 1 or half health. Moonlight stage is probably one of my least favorite in the game, not because it's difficult, but honestly because it's kind of boring. It has to do with the digging, because, you know, he's a mole, and yeah, the stage was pretty uneventful, I'm not gonna lie. At this point in the race, I was actually a bit behind, because as I mentioned before, Kirill went to Spectre Knight stages first to get the phase locket, which made King Knight way easier, so he was a bit ahead of me.
I did make a quick stop in the second location village to pick up a very useful item, the dynamo mill. The point of this item is once you bounce on someone's head twice with your shovel, you get a little charge. This charge then lets you do a slash with your shovel that does double the damage. This does 4 hearts of damage to a boss and insta-kills every enemy in the game. It is the most useful armor, and probably the second most useful item in this entire video game.
After making a pit stop in the village to get more mana for my phase locket, I moved on to the third area, and I wasn't sure what to do first, but I decided to go with Propeller Knight for one main reason. He has easily the hardest stage in the whole game. It's even harder than the final stage, believe me. The hard part is that you have these annoying jellyfish that electrocute you if you don't jump on them with the right timing, and these things with the propellers that fly around and blow you off the platforms. That being said, I did get through it relatively quickly on this run, and the boss himself is actually one of my favorite fights, so I've done it quite a bit. It wasn't too bad. This actually put me a bit ahead of Kirill, as he struggled quite a bit with this stage. Meanwhile, I moved on to Polar Knight. This is one of the stages that I remember being really annoying when I was playing it a few years ago, mainly for 2 reasons. The first is obviously the ice, since you slip on it, and that makes this whole level more annoying. But realistically, that's not even the main problem, since you're not forced to do that much hard parkour. The real problem is this section right here with the ice sculpture. You're forced to play Flappy Bird by hitting in the direction you want it to go. It looks easy, but it's kind of frustrating to play through, I'm not gonna lie. And after all that, we get rewarded with a really annoying boss fight. The problem with Polar Knight is that you can't really use the previous tactic of just bouncing on his head. He'll put his shovel above himself and hit you off, meaning you need to do a combination of bouncing on his head twice and then using the slash from the dynamo mail to go down and get a hit on him. Oh, and did I mention, every time he removes snow from the ground, spikes appear. If not for the phase locket, I would have been stuck here for a long time.
Now, I had been asked to talk about the Tinker Knight level, and honestly, this is not a bad level. It's fairly decent mechanics, too much auto-scrolling, and again, I lost a ton of time on this section because there's an upwards auto-scroller with things that can knock you down, and since dying off of a falling loading zone kills you instantly, yeah, about as fun as taking a bath in a bucket of rusty nails. The boss is literally just a small child that throws wrenches until he summons his Megazord of a tank, and proceeds to ruffle stomp me down a shower drain.
Right here, I'm visiting the village for the very last time, as we only have 2 stages left, both of the Tower of Fates. The first one is just a standard final level, like in any game. They just threw together everything that's annoying from other levels, which makes it quite a challenge. And I did die here more than pretty much any other stage. Oh, nah, Black Knight got obliterated. That's crazy.
He's a big black knight.
Bro, he's black.
Man, I'm trying to run through it as quickly as possible. A checkpoint. Yes! That one.
Please die! Yes! Oh my god. Okay, I have
Thank the
literally
Lord.
1 heart
Phase
remaining
locket.
and 10 mana. This is not looking great. Eventually, we got past it though, to the Tower of Fate Ascent stage. Very similar to the last one, only slightly more difficult, but the interesting thing here is that there's a boss rush at the end, which means you need to beat every single knight we fought before this point, except all of them back to back, and if you die, you need to go back to the very start. Thankfully, you're given food to heal between each fight, and you are a lot more powerful than you first got to those bosses. I cleared it second try. Keep in mind, Kirill was still at Tinker Knight stage at this point, so I thought I had this in the bag. Little did I know, I had the hardest part of the game waiting for me. Wait, you mean to tell me that the final stage wasn't really the final stage? Who would have thought? Here, we need to go kill the Empress, who's been controlling all the bosses we fought. So I head into the final level and embarrass myself by dying like 5 times on this super simple brick stuff. I could have just spammed the phase locket, but for some reason I tried to be a parkour expert and dodge them. I really did think that Kirill was going to catch up to me, because while I was dealing with this, he was already finishing up the previous stage's boss rush. There is a checkpoint before the boss, since it is the most difficult one. The most challenging aspect of this encounter is that the Empress flies under the stage and shoots fireballs at you. Both fireballs and your pogo attack break the ground, meaning that sometimes you just get screwed over in this fight simply because you have nowhere to stand on. That being said, we did beat her, and that is the game. Okay, there we go. I beat the first phase of the Queen. Now, I believe there's a second phase, but I'm not sure.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh, what? The last level wasn't really the last level?
Nice.
Where is it? Come on. There.
Yes, let me catch my wifey. Why? What's gonna happen? Oh.
Now the second phase is not too difficult because if you die on it, then you go back to the second phase. But you need to wait for Shield Hero to jump up so you can pogo off her and pogo on the final boss's head. I don't like having to wait to kill a final boss in a video game. There are very few specific examples of good ones like Ganondorf or most Ganon fights in Zelda, but this one makes me want to go jump out my window.
At this point, Kirill already got to the final stage, but I'd gotten to the final phase of the final stage, and despite dying once or twice due to falling in the little holes, we got it.
Okay, I think this might be the end, but maybe it's not. Oh my god. What's going on?
Oh, you beat him, didn't you?
I don't know, bro, but the boss exploded.
So you beat him.
Yes, sir.
Then why didn't you just say, yeah, I beat him?
I wasn't sure, but honestly, the final level wasn't really the final level.
Yeah, that's quite a plot twist that nobody's ever done before in gaming history.
Yeah.
You know, I'm already here, I might as well just beat the final boss.
Yeah. You might as well. How long is that recording? What's that look like? 3 hours? 3 hours? When the speedrun of the game back that we were doing 3 years ago took us an hour and a half.
Yep. I mean, a year and a half ago we knew sprouts and stuff and strats.
Yeah.
So let's see how different the times were. I exited back to the main menu, waited for Kirill to finish, and what do I see? I finished the game in 2 hours. Pretty good, right? Now I look at his screen and it says 3 hours. Now I know for a fact we finished within minutes of each other, so I don't see how this is possible. It's probably the bug with Windows on my computer. But yeah, I checked OBS and I did beat him by a solid 7 minutes. I won today's race, but maybe next time I won't be so lucky. Leave a comment if you want to see a rematch. Thank you for watching. Bye.